Welcome to Shadowsea, Conquest of the Underground World by Antimatter Games. Expedition Log of Pilny the Aged, March 3rd, 1692. Return to the Underlands. Our return to the underground world, discovered by Captain Brewer all those years ago in 1676, has been tumultuous, with near catastrophe on multiple occasions. The Shadow Sea, as was named the underground ocean below the southern continent, is a cold and deadly realm that is unforgiving to those that do not pay proper respect. The plan for the new expedition was devised by Dr. Wormwood, who had spent the last 10 years ensconced within his laboratory, working tirelessly with the artifacts and submersible vehicles that we had recovered on the first expedition to the underground world in 1680. It was with these submersibles that we made our passage into the underground sea through a volcanic tunnel deep below the surface of the outer seas, twisting and turning in the wall of solid rock for miles until exiting into the inky darkness of the waters under the earth. My memories of this place are still as clear as they were the first time stepping foot into the caverns all those years ago. This was a lost world under miles of treacherous ice and snow, a place unknown until Brewer's ship drifted off course when making a turn around the cape at Isla Hornas and passed into a graveyard of ships among floating mountains of ice crystal. Through skillful navigation and the fortunes of the bold, he had steered his ship through a wall of mist, finding a rough harbor and the entrance to this mysterious land, spewing clouds of steam into the frosty air. There, in those magnificent caverns, we had found glowing crystals and unknown alloys that could cause things to occur that defied all the laws of nature. Lightning without clouds, buildings lifted off of the ground, instantaneous transportation of objects or even people. All and more were found as properties of the few artifacts that were retrieved from this new underground world and its shadowy sea. The most sinister of these artifacts was a small portion of an arch, much older than any other artifact and covered in unidentified runes, which caused an accident during its analysis that was not reported beyond a select few who witnessed what had occurred. Some rumors of the incident have described it as a soul-crushing view into the nature of time and the heavens, but one which manifested into something blasphemous that consumed an entire city block. The artifact was destroyed in the accident, and further attempts to capture additional portions of the arch were met with fierce resistance from the different groups of natives in the Underlands. My memories of the first expedition still pain me, and I recall how we had limped back into port in 1682, ragged and decimated by our first battles with the forces of the Underlands. Visions of the monstrous tentacled beings that crawled out of the water to immolate our soldiers still haunt my dreams, and I cannot seem to expunge them even after all this time. Returning to such a harrowing world should be the furthest thing from my mind, but I am not able to resist the lure of the ancient artifacts hidden there within, many of which I see hints of in the murals of the temples of the celestial gods in the dank and festering jungles of Belix along the shores of the New World, or inscribed in blood within the pages of crumbling books from the great library of Al-Iskandria. Our recent return trip to the deep underground ocean within Wormwood's submersible provided us with ample new information on the flora and fauna of the shallow shelf and abyssal realm of the sea, with many specimens appearing as living relics from eons past, similar if not identical to those found as ossified skeletons within quarried stones. However, this was not my primary area of expertise, and I had requested to transfer to a second craft that was fitted for surface travel and funded for a return expedition to the Underlands. It was then that I learned more of the more recent incursions of the lizard-like creatures that had laid waste to a forest in the jungles of the New World and prompted rapid funding of Wormwood's work on his submersible. The news was grim, telling of additional forts besieged and veteran soldiers torn to crimson shreds by scaly demons, with the attacks growing in frequency and occurring further even northward along the shores of the New World continent. Some survivors even told of the leaders of these creatures wielding explosive devices and some forms of firearms, even some that were carried upon rudimentary seacraft to board and capture armed warships moored in the harbor. These reports, if true, have monstrous implications. I feel there is an even more urgent need to again explore the fungal forests and ruined temples and dark secrets of this underground kingdom, to battle these draconid creatures at their source, and discover the secrets to their astounding expansion on the surface world.